I'm Brian Bender, and let's queer up the USA View. Christian phone carrier blocks LGBTQ+ content on new mobile network. A newly launched Christian mobile phone service is drawing criticism after announcing plans to block LGBTQ+ content for subscribers. Radiant Mobile was launched this week as a, quote, faith-focused mobile service, end quote, operating on the T-Mobile network. The company says it aims to filter what it calls harmful content, including queer material, pornography, and explicit content. According to The Independent, the service is believed to be the first mobile network specifically designed to block LGBTQ+ content. The company has partnered with Israeli cybersecurity firm Allot to help power its filtering technology. Paul Fisher, founder of Radiant Mobile, once told MIT Technology Review that he wanted to create a service void of LGBT and void of trans. He said, quote, "We are going to create what we think we have every right to do, an environment that is Jesus-centric." Radiant Mobile says parents can customize restrictions for children, block entire social media platforms like TikTok, and prevent the use of VPNs designed to bypass content filters. The company's approach mirrors rhetoric often used by opponents of LGBTQ+ rights who claim exposure to queer people or information is harmful to children. Mental health researchers and advocates, however, have long found that online LGBTQ+ communities can provide critical support for queer and transgendered youth, especially those living in unsupportive homes. Radiant Mobile has also reportedly recruited Christian influencers across the United States to promote the service. Well, it sounds to me like these people who call themselves Christian, I'm not here to litmus test anybody's, sincerely held religious beliefs. It sounds like these people that they might want to market this to are people who cannot control their own behavior, be it people that want to look at pornography, people that want to look at things that, they wouldn't want other people to know that they're looking at, and they want to put it under the guise of a Christian kind of a phone service in order to kind of curtail their own obsessive internet habits, if that makes sense. When you can't control your own behavior, you want to legislate other people's behavior because you want to make it illegal for them to do something to prevent you from doing that thing that they're doing. Maybe I'm making a word salad here. I probably am. But I hope my point was received by whoever's listening.
I'm going to let y'all go first because I'm going to get canceled.
Well, I mean, a lot of things out there to digest with this, but
Sure.
I mean, one of the things is, it'll be interesting to see who they get to promote these things. And I think as the LGBT community and certainly the other people that they're filtering out of this business, this brand, really need to take a look at that and use our power, with boycotting the people who promote it, just like Anita Bryant and all those other evil people before.
I was gonna, get a new phone service, so I guess I'm not gonna go to Radiant Mobile because I was really thinking about them. Yeah.
I also wonder how many of the leaders, I was taking a moment to look at their panel there, how many of their leaders may have some, they're protesting too much and may actually be filtering out those bad feelings that they have about what they really want.
Yeah, well, let me just say, thank Christ for burner phones. And maybe, this is more of that, I always say parental rights are wrong. Oh my God, stop having children that you think you can just control. This whole thing about they don't want the kids to have access on their phones. It's just like, you people just really should rethink reproduction. But maybe I was thinking Grindr and Scruff should team up and start their own mobile phone network.
That might be an idea, actually.
All right, so I'm probably going to get stoned for this. Look, they are an independent company, privately held, and they can do whatever they want. It's America. Unfortunately, that's the rules.
It's America.
It is.
It is.
The people who are going to seek those services are the people who are going to seek those services. It's no different than the cable channel networks that are Christian-based, that have Christian movies, that have Christian this, Christian that. They all filter out those things. I'm not saying it's right, but it's their right to do so, and the people that have the choice that want to go onto it, by all means, you're not going to find somebody who is probably LGBT going on this. Now, I do
I think you're going to find a lot of people on there that don't want to admit that they're LGBT.
I don't think so. And quite honestly, that's their choice. If they're dealing with that, I do feel that yes, if parents are getting, heavily Christian parents are getting it and they're putting their children on it. Now, look, I believe that parents should restrict what their children see and do anyway. They should parent. Honestly, there is a fine line there. There are too many 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds that probably are a little wiser and a little more grown up than they should need to be.
I agree.
However, again, if this company wants to do that, there's right and wrong with everything. There's wrong with saying let my child run wild and watch every porn movie that they want and kill. Like it is a parent's responsibility to parent their child, and government and those types of things shouldn't necessarily step in. So
right.
I see both sides to this.
But if stuff, we didn't have the internet when I was a kid.
Correct.
But we had friends who knew things, who had older brothers, and so the kids are going to find out this stuff regardless, whether they're on their phone, whether they're on the internet.
I understand.
The parents cannot block them from that.
I don't think that the parents can block them from everything, but I do think it is the parents' responsibility to instill certain principles in their children that say, hey, I know that you're going to be exposed to a lot of things out in the world. I'm going to tell you as your parent.
Conversation.
I don't
make it a conversation.
I don't think that's appropriate for you, and I think when you come across that, you should divert your eyes of that.
Or we should talk about it.
Or we should talk about it.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I think that the backlash about this, yes, I think this is a slippery slope. And again, I've been watching all these really bad TV shows lately. And, if this was our only option for network, if it was state sponsored or government sponsored, I would be moving. However, it's a private network. It's being marketed to a very subsect of people. Yes, it's going to have some detriment to some people on there, and absolutely. But as you said, kids are smart. And they will find ways of getting the information. So while this is horrible, it's horrible what the guy said, and it's horrible the reasoning why he's doing this is 100% horrible. But unfortunately, we are in a community, a government, a country that allows this to happen, and you really can't stop it.
No.
And I hate to say that.
It's sad.
Yeah, I don't think that that's the question. It's an aspect of this. I don't think anybody's necessarily trying to stop it. It's just a crappy development, for people, for young people that might want to, do a little research outside of the structures of their family if they need to find out an answer to something.
Well, they have iPads and laptops.
What do these feel?
It's all there. They have libraries.
They have everything. And like I said, out of the 400 plus TV stations that are on cable, you've got about 10 or 12 of them that are this way as well already. And they've been around since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I've watched the Duggars, 20 and counting. And if that was what the phone service is for their children, and, we could talk about all the scandals with John, whatever, doing with his sister, all that. There's other things there. But there are people that are raised in these very tight homeschooled Christian communities, and you say, oh, but there's an iPad that they can get to, or there's friends. If some of these people are not only raised in a cult, but the cult is their whole life.
Yes, of course.
So if this is what your family chooses to subscribe to, and you are not in the public schools, or you're not going to a secular private school or charter school, then you are really going to be cut off and be on an island.
That's what I'm saying. These kids are already on an island because most of them don't even have phones anyway.
Right.
So this is a moot point for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just, arguing,
there's a million ways.
Because I like to be argumentative.
But there's a million ways for this. But unfortunately, this is the life we live. So there's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.